I want to welcome you right here to the show. My name is Yaya Diamond, and I'm so very excited to have my next guest on the show today. He is an author, and this is not the first time that I've seen his book, and it certainly won't be the last. I'll tell you that much because it is a really cool book, and it is just right. Let me show it to you because I have to show you this because literally speaking, it's like okay, so many amazing authors come through, and I'm just so very excited to have them on the show. The Velvet Trap by Arthur Day. Welcome, Mr. J. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being on the show. It's just been such a pleasure having you here. And, you know, writing a book is just amazing. And it's an amazing adventure. Tell me, how did you write this book and who did you write this book for?
Actually, the book is book two in a trilogy.
Oh,
Um, it started with a book called Death at Dawn. And this is a follow-up book, and it deals with a part of our society that people don't talk about, but it's there anyway, and
mm,
that is slavery,
oh,
particularly child slavery.
mm,
And they can show up in bus
Bus stop.
stops, they can
They can
show up
show up
at
at dining.
diners,
wow.
sitting along benches along the highway, and they get picked up, and all of a sudden, they're in a world that they didn't bargain for.
Mm,
They
They
might have
might have
had an
had a
agreement
agreement
with their
with their
parents,
parents,
but they
but they
definitely didn't bargain for what they found themselves in.
mhm.
So that's what the book is about, really.
Oh my gosh. You know, that is, yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to have any part to do with it. But if it happens to their children, then they're all gun ho. And unfortunately, that is the worst case scenario that could happen.
yeah.
Why did you write about this? What prompted you to write something that no one really wants to talk about in the first place?
I don't
I
know. I guess I have a
it's
kind of
kind of
mind that
mind that
explores
explores
dark
dark
corners.
corners.
Mm. Dark corners. And to you, this is a dark corner.
It is a very dark corner.
Mm.
I
I
can,
can, you know,
currently
currently
we have
we have an
open
open
border and
border
there's
and there's
children
children
being
uh,
trafficked and raped. And this was written a couple of years ago, but even so, it was active in this country at that time.
Mhm. It was. You know, and I can relate because I have been molested and I have been date
Yep.
raped. So yeah.
I'm so
So,
sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just it is what it is. It wasn't my fault. I was too young and I didn't
Yep.
know any better. And so I didn't even know what was going on. Until this day, I just think that there's sick people in the world and keeping our children safe and away from these sick people that don't know how to control themselves is the best thing that a parent can do. But
absolutely. I'm hoping my book can at least point the way to some people.
definitely, definitely. Now, did you do any research? Was this something a book of love and labor for you, or was it completely fantasy, like what you made up in your mind? Or, I mean, How did the text come about?
I
No,
read, I read an article that dealt with the subject, and I was fascinated that
Mm,
we should have something as horrible as white slavery, and nobody wanted to talk about it, and it just kept going under the rug, so to speak.
yeah.
Uh, so I did some more research, and I started writing. And once I started writing, it just kept going. I
Mm,
was continuing the adventures of Tran female Dianne Vargas and her partner McCaal as they try and break into this white slavery trap and free a girl uh, who was caught up in it.
this is terrible. This is
Yes,
terrible. It really is
it is.
bad. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that, slavery is all colors right now. It's all
Yes,
colors right now. It really is all
non-denominational.
hmm and non-discriminatory. And it
non-discriminatory.
doesn't care. If you are young and a child, you are game.
Yep.
Yeah, it is terrible. They just and this is something that I was reading. I think it was either yesterday or today, this morning, I think, where they found the bodies of the children that they were looking for, all dismembered.
Yeah.
There's some real
That's
monsters out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hoping that will serve as a warning.
And so, what is in the book that can warn people about this, these things, these trafficking? And again, this is for, well, I wouldn't say entertainment purposes only, but we are not experts at this. This is something that was researched by Mr. Arthur Day, and by no means is he an investigator or anything like that. But people need to be aware of what's going on around them, and so that's what Mr. Arthur Day is doing. He's bringing the awareness to our fingertips so that we understand what's really going on around us. So, Mr. Day, again, I mean, what is it that you can say about the question that I just asked you a minute ago?
The question of
Yeah,
What the book brings to the conversation.
exactly. Yeah. What does the book bring to the conversation? What does the book do to alert the parents and the children about what's going on?
It
Well,
deals with a young girl who is
uh,
snatched off the street and
and
finds herself
so,
uh,
uh,
brutalized and then taken to this estate where this very rich person uh, uses her as a girl of the street, so to speak, uh, or and she's forced to go into bed with multiple men. Then
the
rich
rich
guy gets parties, and he gets off on this, and he
and
gets video
get
and
the
audio
audio, it'll like
blackmail his clients, and that's what the girls are for. So I'm hoping that this will at least wake some people up.
Definitely. And again, you hit the nail right in the center. I mean, literally speaking, you've driven it into the wood per se. Um, is this an 18 and over book?
It does have sexual scenes and bad language.
Mhm.
If over 18, I would say so, but there's probably children 16 or 17 who would be okay reading it.
Okay. Well, I mean, would you suggest that every parent read this so that they can be more familiar with what really goes on in these things, and what you have studied and what you have written in there is similar or even parallel to what really happens?
I would say yes, it's a book that parents should read and think about, even though it's a novel and it's fiction, and the characters go through the story, and hopefully they come to a good climax. Uh,
Right.
no pun intended.
Right. I
Um,
got you.
but yes, I think it's a book that parents should read,
Yeah,
or at
definitely.
least look through.
Wow. Mr. J, the biggest question is, what do you feel about these things that are going on? How does this affect you? How did the book and writing the book affect you emotionally?
Emotionally, it affected me deeply. I found myself one with the girl um, who had found herself in the velvet trap, um, leaving a life of luxury as long as she did what she was told.
uh,
I myself am just the opposite. Well, actually, she came from a well-off family and was taken off the street. Uh, so she was experiencing something that she had never experienced before. And in researching this, I found myself experiencing things that I had never experienced before. And maybe I grew up a little bit in the process. And I'm hoping that people who read the book will grow up a little bit as well.
Yeah. What kind of advice? Because you've done some research, and obviously you've written, the book, and this is, not the first time that you've written about the Velvet Trap. This is a sequel. These are series and steps. What kind of advice do you give to parents that have children, boys or girls, at this stage in the game?
Best I can say, and each family is different. Parents are different, kids are different. But I would say be careful uh, where they go and who they see and what they do when they're not under your supervision.
Yeah. Wow. This is so sad. This is so sad. I want to thank you, Mr. Day. Is there anything that we've left out today that you'd like to say?
I don't think so. You've been very thorough. Thank you.
Thank you. The Velvet Trap and all the other sequels in this series can be acquired on Amazon.com. I have the link in the description box below so that you can go ahead and check it out for yourself. We all have a responsibility for all of our children. It does take a village to raise a child. And even the children in your neighborhood, even if you're not a parent, believe you me, these children are watching you and they're looking up to you. Keep an eye out on each other. This is so sad. And we don't want this happening to anyone in our neighborhoods or our own children or even our grandchildren and so on and so forth. Please be vigilant. That's the word I'm looking for. Please be vigilant and diligent, yes, to understand what's going on around you and your surrounding. And then take into account that books like this, like The Velvet Trap, can be so helpful in being aware and understanding all the different traps that they do set for our children. And also for some women out there, be careful. Be very careful. Until next time, guys, don't forget to dare to be different. And don't forget to check out the link in the description box below.